Yo, what is going on guys? Jaeky here. Today I will be giving you guys the ultimate guide to finding the best sensitivity in Apex Legends. So first things first, let's talk about EDPI. EDPI basically stands for effective DPI. And to find the DPI of your mouse, all you have to do is go into the software that's provided. If you're using a gaming mouse like a Logitech, usually it comes with some software, and you just go into the software and you will be able to find your DPI there. If you're using a mouse that doesn't have software like Zowie, then you can look on the bottom of the mouse and there will be a DPI indicator, and you can actually go into the manual and find out which color corresponds with which DPI. So it's important that you know your EDPI so that you can reference your current sensitivity to the ones that I reference in this video, because in this video I will mainly be using EDPI. I won't be talking about DPI and in-game separately, but to calculate your EDPI, all you have to do is take the DPI of your mouse that you found out earlier with software or whatever, and then multiply it with your in-game sensitivity. So for example, I use 800 DPI on my mouse, and I use 1.5 sensitivity in-game. So that would mean my EDPI would be 1200. So all you do is multiply DPI by in-game sensitivity to get your EDPI. One thing I do want to mention before we get started here is that field of view actually will affect how your sensitivity feels. So just keep in mind that if you guys are ever copying a pro player sensitivity to try out, make sure that you also copy their field of view, because if you have a different field of view, that can make your sensitivity feel different than the person you're trying to copy. So just keep that in mind. I play on a 110 field of view, so I'm just putting that out there for you to reference. That's just personal preference. So sensitivity, field of view, it's all personal preference, but I will be giving you guys tips and tricks to make it so that your sensitivity is perfectly suited for you. Alright guys, so on the screen here I made this little comfort zone sort of graph thing. So basically you want to make sure that your sensitivity falls somewhere in between this comfort zone right here. If not in it, then at least near it. So basically the comfort zone is 1000 EDPI to 1800 EDPI is where you kind of want to be around. So for example, just some top players here, some pro players for you to reference is Mendo plays at 945, which is just below the comfort zone. Diego plays at 1200 DPI, which is in the comfort zone. And then Dizzy plays at 2000 EDPI, which is a little bit over the comfort zone. And Ace plays at 1680 EDPI, which is in the comfort zone. So alongside these pro players, there's a lot of other pro players which if you calculate their EDPI, they will fall somewhere in this comfort zone, if not near it. So my advice is to just not go anywhere over 5. So if you're over 500 DPI over or under the comfort zone, then you should probably consider, going up or down depending where you're at. So let's say you play on 2300 EDPI, then you should probably lower it at least down to like 2000 or below. So that's my advice, is to stay somewhere in this comfort zone at all times. Alright guys, let's talk about DPI real quick. So there's a lot of misconceptions about DPI, but the general rule of thumb is to just stay under 1600 DPI. Anywhere over 1600 DPI, you're going to get a lot of accelerated pixels, a lot of acceleration in your mouse in the DPI. So you want to stay under 1600 DPI and over 400. I mean, most mice don't even go under 400 DPI, so you're probably fine there. But the two most used DPIs by top and pro players is 400 DPI and 800 DPI. Now, when we're really getting down to it, it's preference. It's completely preference whether you play on 400 or 800 DPI. Doesn't matter. Honestly, the only thing that matters is the final result, which is the EDPI, which takes into account your in-game sensitivity as well. The only thing your DPI will affect is in like loot box screens, like if you're in your inventory or if you're looting a death box. That's the only time you'll feel your DPI. So if you're on 400, your mouse will move slower in the menu, like when you in your inventory in death box screens when you're looting. So it's really down to preference. If you want slower DPI, if that helps you click items with more accuracy, then play on that. If a higher DPI helps you loot quicker, then you should do that as well. I play on 800 DPI personally because I feel like when I play on 400, I can't loot things as quickly. And I also think I'm a little bit more accurate on 800 DPI clicking things. I don't misclick as much. So that's why I play on 800. But it's really down to preference what DPI you use. The only thing that really matters is your EDPI, which takes into account your in-game sensitivity. Alright guys, let's just go over the in-game settings really quickly here. I want to touch on this. So for mouse acceleration, you want to make sure that this is off. Basically, the quick explanation for that is just because mouse acceleration makes it so that if you move your mouse quicker across your mouse pad, your sensitivity will be higher. So obviously that's bad because you don't want to ruin your muscle memory. If you have this off and you get used to moving your mouse a certain distance to cover a certain amount of pixels, your hand will be used to moving that distance. But if you have mouse acceleration on, then you'll constantly find yourself under aiming, over aiming, because you'll be moving your mouse at different speeds. So I would just recommend for Apex and for any other future FPS that you're playing to always turn mouse acceleration off. For the ADS mouse sensitivity multiplier, this is completely down to personal preference. Some people like it so that when you aim down sights, it's slower than hipfire. Myself personally, I like it so that when I ADS, it's the same sensitivity as my hipfire. So I just leave this on 1, and I just leave it on 1 so that my ADS sensitivity is the same as my hipfire. Alright guys, so for the final step here, this is how you want to tweak your sensitivity and find the sensitivity that's perfect for you and your setup. So obviously sensitivity is different for everyone depending on their mouse pad. A lot of things affect what sensitivity will work for you. So don't just go out there and copy a pro player. Really sit down and do what I'm about to show you and tweak your sensitivity so that it's exactly right for you. So basically what I like to do here is I go into training and you just pick up a wingman and stand like right here. It doesn't really matter where you stand really, but just stand right here and aim down at the target in the middle, right? And then this is the exercise that you want to do. So what you want to do is just flick to your left and try and headshot this target right here. And if you guys aren't good at eyeballing, you might want to record it. Just record yourself doing this for like 5-10 minutes and then play it back and slow it down and really see if you're under aiming or over aiming the target. So this is how I would do it. So you go like that, you flick to your left and then you flick to the right. So right out there when I flick to the left, I under aim just a little bit there. And again, if you're not good at eyeballing this, just record it and then slow it down in like Windows Movie Maker or whatever you use, you know. So you can see I under aimed again. And you just want to do this for like 5-10 minutes. And if you're under aiming, then you want to up your sensitivity by a little bit, and then do it again for 5 minutes. And you know, if that made your aim better, then you might want to stick on that. If you're still under aiming, you might want to bump it up a little more. So just follow that general concept. You know, if you're over aiming, then you want to bump down your sensitivity. So again, just flick to those targets. You can see I'm under aiming, so that might mean I need to raise my sensitivity a little bit. So you can see you just do this for like 5 minutes and leave yourself some margin of error. So if you're under aiming like 1 or 2 shots out of like 200 shots, then obviously that's just human error and you don't want to mess with your sensitivity too much if you're under aiming like 2% of the time, you know. But yeah, you just do this and see if you're under aiming or over aiming. One other thing is if you did change your ADS sensitivity, then you might want to do this test with hipfire as well. So you just want to, you know, do it with hipfire. Make sure you're crouched so that your shots are accurate. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the exercise that I would recommend that you guys do. Just 5-10 minutes, record it if you guys aren't good at eyeballing, and then play it back, see if you're under aiming or over aiming. Again, try and stay in the comfort zone that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the exercise. That's how you find the sensitivity that's perfect for you in Apex Legends. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.